Welcome back, guys. Today I'll be doing CSEC Mathematics, January 2022, question 7. It's a sequence question. A sequence of figures is made from lines of unit length and dots. The lines form a series of octagons and squares. The dots are placed at each vertex. So these are the vertex. The first three figures in the sequence are shown below. So we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides. These are two octagons, and you can see these are the squares. They look like diamonds, but they say there are squares, so it has equal sides. So that's figure 2. Then we have 3, so it's 1, 2, then 3, and then 4 squares. Figure 3 of the sequence is shown by itself below. Let's see what is figure 3. So this is figure 3. Add more lines of unit length and dots to figure 3 to correctly represent figure 4. Now, looking at the pattern, we have 1, then 2, then 3, and figure 4 is going to have 4 octagons. So having the octagon, I'm going to have 1, 2, I will put in a dot, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I'm going to put in the dots so that we have the points. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, having this, we are going to include the squares that looks like diamonds. So we have 1, 2. Of course, you'll be using a ruler. 1 and 2. So this is the basic idea. So in other words, figure 4, we have 4 diamonds and 6 squares. Now the next question, the number of dots, D, and the number of units, lines that form the perimeter of the shape, that is the outside, P, from a pattern. The values D, which is the number of dots, and P is the perimeter of figure for the first 3 figures are written in the table below. So when you have figure 1, we have 8 dots and the perimeter is 8. So let's look at this. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dots, and we say the perimeter is 8. Now remember, the perimeter is 8 because they said that this is 1 unit. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they say unit length, so that's 1 unit. Now the next one, we have figure 2, we have 16 dots, but the perimeter is 4. Let's look at that. So we have the 16 dots and 14 is the perimeter of the figure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we do have 16 dots. Let's check the perimeter. Perimeter is around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we don't count it in. The perimeter is around. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So since that's a trend, let's see what's the perimeter for this figure, and we'll look at figure 3. So let's start counting from this side. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I'll be seeing 20 for the perimeter for the next one, which is what I have here. And the number of dots, if I count it, is 24. So figure 4, how many dots do I have? We can look at the trend without even counting the one. This is 8. Then we have 16. So what happened? Then we have 24. So we say 8 plus 8, that's 16. That's the difference between this. And then 16 plus 8, I get 24. So if I add 8 again to 24, I will get 32. So here I'm able to see that I will have 32 dots. Look at the trend here. We have 8, then 14, then 20. So it's going up by 6. So when I say 8 plus 6, that's 14. Then 14 plus 6, that's 20. And then we have 20 plus 6. I'm expecting a 26. So here I'll have 26. Now continuing here, if I have the perimeter to be 86, is it possible for me to know what is the number of dots and the figure that I'm dealing with? So that's what I'm going to look at next. So for part 2, we have the perimeter is 86. We need to find n and the number of dots. But what we can do, we can look at part 3 that asks for n, and it will be easier for us to find out what is the number of figures and number of dots in part 2. So let's look at part 3. So finding the general formula, which is n, I am going to find the number of dots. Let's look at the trend for the number of dots. I have 8, 16, and I have 24. Remember I said I add 8 to this, and I get 16. Then I add 8 to this, and I get 24. So it means I add another 8, and I will get 32. Now, looking at this, I have when n is equal to 1, I will get 8. When n is equal to 2, I'll get 16. When n is equal to 3, I get 24. When n equals 4, I get 32. So what this is saying is that when I multiply 8 times n, I will get the values. Because look at this. When I substitute n equal 1, 1 times 8 is 8. When I substitute n equal 2, 2 times 8, that's 16. When I substitute n equal 3, 3 times 8 is 24. When I substitute n is equal to 4, I will get 4, 8, 32. So that tells me that it's 8n. That's what gives me the number of dots. So first I have to look at what's happening with the pattern. I start with 8 dots and then I keep, adding 8, and I realize each time I add 8, I get this. So that's a good way for you to know what's happening. But to get the pattern now, you have to consider what happened when n equal 1, when n equal 2, when n equal 3, when n equal 4. For the next one, if you realize, I have 8, 14, 20, and 26. So the difference between this is 6. So it means that 6 times n, I'll have 6 times n, because when n is equal to 1, I'll say 1 times 6 is 6, but I have an 8 here, so I'd add 2 to this. So when n is equal to 2, 2 6 is 12, and then I add 2 to this, so I get 14. When n equals 3, I have 3 6 is 18 plus 2, that's 20. So the general form is 6n plus 2. So now they say we have 86. So I can say 6n plus 2 equal 86. And transpose. So I have 6n is equal to 86 minus 2. So 6n is equal to 84. And now for this, I'm going to divide both sides by 6. So that means what I have here is n is equal to 14. So my n value is 14, so that means to find out what's here, I would say 14 times 8. So I replace here to be 14, so 14 times 8, and that will give me 112. For the next one, we have for any figure n greater than 1, the number of dots d is greater than its parameter p. Determine the value of n for a figure in which the difference between the number of dots and the parameter is 36. So the number of dots, the general formula is 8n, and the parameter of the figure is 6n plus 2. Remember, I'm getting it from the previous slide that I looked at. 6n plus 2 and 8n. That's a general formula. So therefore, I'm going to distribute this. And don't forget equal 36. So I have 8n minus 6n minus 2 equal 36. Carry this over, so we have a plus, and then 8n minus 6n, that's 2n. And then we have 36 plus 2. That's going to give me 38. So 2n is equal to 38. And divide both sides by 2. So that means n is equal to 19. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.